Hello geographers, this is Unit 2A for Paper 2, Urban Issues and Challenges. What is urbanisation? Urbanisation is the increase in the amount of people living in urban areas such as towns and cities. In 2007, the UN announced that for the first time, more than 50% of the world's population live in urban areas. Where is urbanisation happening? Urbanisation is happening all over the world, but in low-income countries and newly emerging economies, rates are much faster than high-income countries. This is mostly because of the rapid economic growth, which is leading to increasing life expectancies that they are experiencing. People are moving to cities in licks and knees more quickly than in other countries. Causes of urbanisation: rural to urban migration. That is the movement of people from rural to urban areas, from the countryside to cities. There are push factors and pull factors. Push factors are factors that encourage people to move away from a place. For example, natural disasters like drought, war and conflict, mechanisation, lack of opportunities and lack of employment. And pull factors encourage people to move to a place. Factors sometimes perceived more jobs, better education and healthcare, increased quality of life following family members, and natural increase is when the birth rate is greater than the death rate. So more babies are born than people die, and that creates natural increase. The increase in birth rate is because migration often involves young adults. When there is a high percentage of population of childbearing age, this leads to a higher birth rate. In the UK, migrant groups have higher fertility rates. Lack of contraception or education about family planning leads to increased birth rates. There are also lower death rates. A higher life expectancy is due to supplies of clean water, better living conditions and diet, and improved medical facilities help lower infant mortality rate and raise life expectancies. Less people die. Types of cities. A megacity is an urban area with over 10 million people living there. More than 2/3 of the current megacities are located in either knees or licks. The majority of megacities are now located in Asia. The number of megacities are predicted to increase from 28 to 41 by 2030. New York and Mumbai are examples. Sustainable urban living means being able to live in cities in ways that do not pollute the environment and using resources in ways that ensure future generations can also use them. Sustainable urban living should ensure that all facilities necessary for people are available and that all areas are economically viable without damaging the environment. Sustainable urban living is about water conservation, energy conservation, creating green spaces, and waste recycling. Water conservation. This is about reducing the amount of water used. Rainwater harvesting provides water for gardens and for flushing toilets. Installing water meters discourages water use. Dual flushes on toilets flush less water, and educating people on less water use. Energy conservation is using less fossil fuels can reduce the rate of climate change. Promoting renewable energy sources, for example solar panels and insulation, making homes and appliances more energy efficient, encouraging people to use less energy, and using wood in buildings instead of bricks. Creating green space. Creating green spaces in urban areas can improve places for people who want to live there. They provide natural, cooler areas for people to relax in. They encourage people to exercise. They reduce the risk of flooding from surface runoff, and they reduce airborne particulates. Waste recycling. More recycling means fewer resources are used. Less waste goes to the amount that would eventually go to landfill. This reduces waste gases or methane and contamination of water sources. Collection of household waste, more local recycling facilities, and greater awareness of the benefits of recycling. The distribution of population and cities in the UK. The location of most UK cities is linked to the availability of natural resources, particularly coal, or near to the coast for imports, and the subsequent location of industry during the Industrial Revolution. This is because coal was the original source of power for the factories, for example Glasgow, Newcastle, Nottingham and Cardiff. London is a major anomaly to this trend. Instead, its location on the River Thames enabled resources to be imported along the River Thames. Imports from across the British Empire were then used in industry. Integrated transport systems and greenbelt areas and redevelopment of brownfield sites and urban regeneration are all designed to make cities better. Integrated transport system. This is the linking of different forms of public and private transport within a city and the surrounding area. For example, bus timetables coincide with train arrivals and departures, tram lines associated with peak flow from park and ride locations. Greenbelt areas. This is a zone of land surrounding a city where a new building is strictly controlled to try to prevent cities growing too much and too fast. Some developments are now being allowed on greenbelt. This is controversial. Brownfield sites. A brownfield site is an area of land that has been developed before and, because it has become derelict, can be reused. For example, old factories in Leicester rebuilt as apartments. Brownfield sites are more expensive to develop than greenfield sites, as derelict buildings must be removed first. Our example is the old police station in Dartmouth being redeveloped into flats. Urban regeneration. The investment in the revival of old urban areas by either improving what is there already or clearing it away and rebuilding. For example, the development of High Cross Shopping Centre on old industrial land, or the conversion of old factories into accommodation. Traffic management. Urban areas are busy places with many people travelling by different modes of transport. This has caused urban areas to experience traffic congestion that can lead to various problems. Environmental problems. Traffic increases air pollution, which releases greenhouse gases that is leading to climate change. More roads have to be built. Economic problems. Congestion can make people late for work. Business deliveries take longer. This costs companies more money as drivers take longer to make the delivery. And social problems. There is a greater risk of accidents. This is a particular problem in built-up areas. Congestion causes frustration. Traffic creates particulates that can affect health, for example, asthma. We looked at a sustainable city in Curitiba with a traffic management system. Curitiba is the capital of Parana State and is found on the southeast of Brazil, around 1,000 kilometers from Rio de Janeiro. In a recent survey, 99% of Curitiba's residents said they were happy with their city. It has been transformed from an agricultural city to a manufacturing one through sustainable planning. Traffic management example, the bus rapid transport system in Curitiba. The bus rapid transport system in Curitiba has different coloured bus routes separate from the main roads, with raised glass bus shelters so people pay in the bus shelter and not on the bus. This reduced journey time and pollution. Buses are bendy, triple articulated to carry more passengers and therefore keep cars off the road. Curitiba has invested in green spaces and parks to improve quality of life for residents. Green spaces also act as flood buffer zones to reduce any chance of flooding in the rainy season. Green spaces are protected to stop squatter settlements or slums developing there. Also invested in a waste recycling strategy where residents of the slum areas can exchange their waste for bus tickets and food. This means that slum residents can improve their quality of life. This is a highly effective example of a sustainable city scheme.